ask about the Sleep Number. Ask about Sleep IQ technology. It's sleepnumber.com/Patrick. Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the NFL.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents the Race to Talladega.
It's your chance to win tickets to the Yellowwood 500, Sunday, October 6th. Step 1, listen to Coach Hale mornings at 7:15 and 8:15 for the keyword of the day. Step 2, text the keyword in your racing name to 850-215-6290. Step 3, listen to 1240 and 540. If we announce your name, race to the phones and call us back for your chance to win tickets to the Yellowwood 500 from your racing station.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Friday. Sunny this afternoon and evening with a wind at 6 miles per hour out of the west and the high of 89. Tonight, look for a light breeze out of the east-northeast and clear skies with a temperature near 74. Tomorrow, a high around 89 and sunshine with a wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday, hot with a high of 88 and sunshine. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Hi, I'm Tracy, your diamond girl at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Shopping for the perfect diamond can be difficult, but that's why I've trained my staff to be helpful and to offer you a stress-free diamond experience. Pick your sparkle and use our easy layaway plan. Every woman deserves an exquisite diamond from your diamond girl at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We don't work on commissions.
We work for smiles and I-dos.
So if you're tired of high-pressure salespeople, stop by and see us today at Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
Y'all listen up. Let me tell you something about group meals from Rudy's Barbecue. It's got all you need for all the folks you gotta feed, smoked meat, sides, and more. There's everything down to the tablecloth, just like the one that you see at the store. At a bridal shower, it's better than flowers. And a long-distance meeting, it'll pass the hours. It'll feed all the cousins at a family function. It's better than potluck at a church luncheon. Next time you need to feed 10 or more, call and order a Rudy's group meal.
Next in line.
Hewitt Tire and Auto. Call 850-769-7323. Your certified AAA service center and hometown towing. Visit them online at HewittTire.com. On Airport Road in Panama City. 850-769-7323. Hewitt Tire and Auto Center and hometown towing.
Need a tow? Call Billy at Hometown Towing, 850-265-1562.
At Brock Lawn and Pest Control, we're proud to be awarded the distinction of being Quality Pro certified.
Our technicians have passed rigorous training in eco-friendly application and prevention of pest treatments.
Part of the program is the practice of integrated pest management.
IPM's goal is to prevent pests from ever entering your home. It includes inspection, prevention, education, and, when necessary, application.
We're proud to be Quality Pro certified.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, the standard and level of trust.
It's the Golden Harvest Collection, only at Krispy Kreme. Let's begin with the maple buttercream, then the oatmeal cream pie, followed by the salted caramel cheesecake, yum, and last, my favorite, the spice apple-filled donut. It's the Golden Harvest Collection, available now at Krispy Kreme, with 2 locations in front of HCA Hospital, 23rd Street, Panama City, and the Ross Clark Circle in Dothan. Krispy Kreme donuts since 1937, where you get them hot.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
WGSX Lynn Haven WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
And that's out of the ballpark.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's the next evolution of sports talk radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions.
Now.
And now we're taking...
With the first pick.
This is the last ball you got to bat.
The Inside Drive. From college to the pros. Interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. On ESPN Northwest Florida.
They want me, tell they all know me. And good Friday morning. No guitar today. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. 104.3 in Panama City and Panama City Beach, Parker, Callaway, Springfield, Millville, Lynn Haven, Southport, St. Andrews, all sorts of beautiful places here in Bay County. Whoop. Get your mic on. Get your mic on. He said Springfield. Uh-oh. That's not... Oh, no. That's not going to be good today if that's the case. We'll get his mic working here in a second. But you are listening to the Inside Drive. You can find us on the dial, but you can also find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Just search it up, ESPN Northwest Florida. You can also download our free mobile app inside the Google Play or Apple Store. Just search it up, 104.3. It'll take you right there. And then, of course, head over to ESPNPC.com. You can download KHS TV. Just look for the little TV channel icon. $40 a month. Literally everything out there that's available. Pay-per-view, tickets, NHL games, MLB games that we're winding down, just everything out there with KHS TV. Do yourself a favor, save some money, just make sure you got some decent internet speed to make that happen. But, I mean, pretty much everybody has
Cut the umbilical cord.
Yeah, there you go. Cut the umbilical cord indeed. You know, the dad typically does that. Sometimes you save the little piece. It's kind of gross, but that's okay. It's okay. It's what gives the baby life inside the uterus. Didn't know I was going to mention the word uterus today on the show, David. Thank you for that.
You're welcome, man. I always try to help you get to where we need to go, and we came from there.
Yeah, we did. We did, as far as I know. How do you publish a poll once you put it in there? That's what I struggle with, because I did put a poll question up there, and we'll talk about it here briefly, or in a little bit. The Jets and the Patriots last night, very single-handed, a very one-sided game, but are the Jets for real? I want to know what the listeners think. Obviously, a small sample size. We'll talk a little bit more about that game here shortly. But first, we got to get to your Atlanta Braves and their big victory yesterday.
It's active now.
It's active. Thank you.
You did it twice.
Ooh. See, I don't know, because the modules are certainly different.
Yeah, sometimes you have to refresh the page. Because that was, I think, the first poll that we ever made. I was like, I don't know how to make this thing go out there.
Because I've seen the activate poll button before, but not there. When I did it, it all just went away.
Yeah.
But yes, the Braves got a win last night, but it doesn't change the standings. Unfortunately, the Diamondbacks and the Mets are still 2 games ahead of the Braves as we approach, I think, 8 or 9 games left in the regular season. I know next weekend will be that series against Kansas City Royals, which we sent a bunch of listeners here from our listening area up there to check it out. But the man of the day, the hour, the year, the week, the century is that man, Ohtani. I just looked on fantasy just to see how many points he scored yesterday because I knew you had him.
How did he do for my
33 points?
33
is what he scored there in fantasy. Not that matters, but obviously we talked about it with Max yesterday in the studio. You know, when was Ohtani going to do it? We're like, maybe 3 or 4 games, but nope, he did it yesterday.
That's insane.
I mean,
I'm a couple of days away from playing in the championship in my other one.
Oh, nice. Yeah, there you go. Got to pay. I need season of the sticks is.
I quit paying attention when he just started putting up 300 points on an average basis per week. It's like, all right, you got this, bro.
I made it to the playoffs. Felt like a moral victory. Didn't beat Dave Neat, and now him and season of the sticks are battling it out.
Yeah. Great drafts by them because it's been that way all year long.
Yep, consistency, no doubt about it. But yes, Shohei Ohtani last night founded not only the 50-50 club, but the 51-51 club. I wasn't home watching it. We were doing basketball. Max had texted me. He's like, so what, 4 days? Just kidding. How about today? And I was like, wait, what? You talking about Shohei? I was like, but I know he needed 2 home runs. So I was like, no. But man, did he have what some are dubbing the greatest day in baseball history. Like I said, founded the 50-50 club. That's 50 homers and 50 stolen bases. And then quickly after that, founded the 51-51 club. His stat line yesterday, 6-4-6, 3 home runs, 5 extra base hits, 10 RBIs, and 2 stolen bases. That's like MLB The Show numbers right there. That's some crazy wild stuff.
Video game numbers, indeed.
In real life.
And that's the thing is, how can such a great player be so underrated. And what I mean by that is, yes, he's correctly rated when it comes to his bat.
Yeah.
He's very highly thought of with his arm, pitching wise. We don't even get to see him in the field this year because they, trying to help ensure that they have him on the bump next year. But he's also a great defender. His speed, though, is the thing that now everyone's able to see. Maybe not even. Sometimes it's not just about speed as much as it is just being a very highly intelligent
high baseball
base
IQ, no
runner,
doubt.
and that's exactly what Ohtani is. And if I cannot stand the Dodgers. But now we're going to be able to see Ohtani in October, and that's going to be, it's great for baseball. Baseball's in a wonderful spot.
No doubt about that. Yes, as you mentioned, clinched the playoffs for the first time in his career, which is pretty crazy to think about. But he became the first player in modern baseball history to have 5 extra base hits and multiple stolen bases in one game. He also broke the Dodgers single-season franchise home run record, which is pretty incredible as well. And really the only loser in this situation seems to be the guy that did not catch the 50th home run ball. Had an opportunity to snag it there. His face has been plastered all over social media as he did not catch it. He fumbled it, went all the way down to the bottom. Hopefully Shohei gets that ball back.
What do you think's more valuable in the long run, 50 or 51?
Ooh, more valuable in the long run. What if he gets to 55?
I mean, is there an opportunity for that? Absolutely.
Yeah,
if you can hit 3 in one game, you got an opportunity.
You got 9 games left to do some more damage.
I think he's got one more multi-home run game in him this year.
Got to, right? I mean, I don't know.
But kind of going back to what you said, I don't care if these players get their balls back or get their bats or whatever. You know what I mean?
The other guy that caught the 51st one, he's got that one locked in.
I think it is very commendable by the fans to give the ball back to the player. But that player is also making a ton of money. Yeah. And guess who are the people who support, as we're starting to feel it even more so in college football when you got to pay a 10% talent fee?
Tennessee.
Yeah,
it's the fans.
It's the fans, man. And this is a fan-based game. So I've never caught a home run ball that's of that much value. And if I were to catch a player's important, memorable home run ball or whatever it may be, I would probably think about giving it back to him and might even give it back to him depending on if
for a charge.
No, not even that. Meaning, is the player am I a fan of that player? If I'm okay, Ohtani, right? No, I'm not giving you the ball back, bro.
Sucker.
No, we can make a bet on it. How about that?
There you go. If he gets to 60-60, you'll give him the ball back.
Right, but if it was like Acuna, all right, now I'm thinking about it. You know what I mean? Because that's someone who I'm a fan of, but.
I get that. I mean, and that's really, baseball is unique in that aspect as a sport. I mean, you're not getting sometimes footballs you get to keep them, but the majority of the time they're always going back. Basketball, not even a thing. But baseball, I mean, hockey, you get some pucks that go up there, but it's not a milestone puck, because a milestone puck going out of the rink is not a milestone unless there's
that was the 1 millionth puck that is went above the net.
Sell it for $5 on eBay. But yeah, I mean, so baseball is so unique in that aspect where you can actually take home a piece of history just by attending the game and obviously getting very, very, very lucky where that ball is coming. But man, congratulations to Shohei last night. What an unbelievable performance. And, like you said, don't forget, he's coming off a big-time injury, too, going into this year, and he still did all this with that injury. So
I hate to say I saw it coming. Yeah. But it was now, all right, so when you're spreading yourself, and I'm not going to say too thin because it doesn't seem like he's ever spread himself too thin.
No.
But when you're having to focus on pitching and having to focus on your ABs at the same time, you're not going to be able to just be as great as you could in one area. And now that he's just hitting, it's dangerous, and we're going to see a designated hitter more than likely win the National League MVP And that's, I think for most traditionalists and purists of the sport of baseball is weird, but I don't think that anyone can deny the fact that but what's also weird is when you're winning MVP on a stacked team. But that's what happened last year with Acuna, so.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, there's no argument really at this point, when you're that dangerous as a hitter and a base runner. I mean, just incredible stuff. And like you said, I think it's fantastic for Major League Baseball. He's on a team now that, we got a chance to see him, make a run in, not only play in his first postseason, but actually maybe make a run into the postseason. And the more he's playing postseason baseball, the more people are going to be tuning in, no doubt. And I know he's on that team that you hate. So
hope it's a first round exit.
There you go. Hey, those
second round technically, because they are.
Yeah, but they're going to get a bye.
Or will the Phillies? The
Phillies might. I don't think they've clinched. I mean, they clinched a playoff berth, but I think the only division that's been clinched thus far is Milwaukee clinching the Central.
NL Central, yeah.
Yeah, which, hey, good for them. Good for the Brewers. Little Thursday night football last night, and, I guess some could say we expected it. The Patriots, they did win that first game, and here they're coming kind of back to reality on the offensive side of the football a little bit. But that's why I stuck that poll question out there twice, apparently, that are the Jets for real this year? Obviously, they struggled in that opening game against the San Francisco 49ers. Very good defense, and it was Aaron Rodgers' first game back in a long time. They found a way to win in week 2, and then yesterday, just a dominant performance over the New England Patriots. Actually, a very dominating performance. No other team in the Super Bowl era has done this in a single game. 400 plus total yards of offense, 40 minutes time of possession. They doubled the time of possession for the Patriots. 0 turnovers, 0 touchdowns allowed, and 7 plus sacks all in one game. And that belongs to the New York Jets.
That's pretty insane. Also a fun stat, and you might have it on your lineup, but Aaron Rodgers, first time ever throwing to a first round pick as a wide receiver. He had Mercedes Lewis, who was a first round pick, but pretty interesting.
Pretty crazy stat there to think about that. And he had to go to the Jets, and that wasn't the team he was on when that wide receiver was drafted. So pretty crazy stuff. Also pretty crazy that Allen outgained Breece Hall yesterday too for the Jets. I know Breece Hall had a touchdown, but two-headed monster there in the backfield with the rookie.
No doubt, man. And he's someone that I've got stashed in a few leagues, so we'll see how it all plays out. I mean, obviously, I do think it's Breece Hall's.
Yeah, absolutely.
As the lead back, but it is one of those that each of those are going to cut into each other's carries and therefore their fantasy output.
No doubt. I still need to see a little more from the New York Jets. I need them to beat not the Patriots aren't good. Let's be honest. The Titans, we talk about them all the time. I need the Jets to be a really good football team before I can really get behind the fact that the Jets are going to have an opportunity to challenge the Bills for the AFC East. But hey, it was a fun Thursday night football game, and week 3 is officially underway with a lot of injuries on the slate this week. Coming up, we'll be talking to Joe Bond, the founder of Fantasy Six Pack, in the next segment to dive into some of the start-sit action. You got to make some decisions. Are there some players you want to pick up as well? And I want to ask him some questions about that Niners-Rams game, too, that keeps getting worse and worse and worse for both teams, with Kittle being reported with a hamstring injury, didn't practice yesterday. Charvarius Ward didn't practice yesterday. And, that doesn't leave a whole lot of people there. Jawan Jennings out of Tennessee might be a good guy to look at picking up.
Mm-hmm.
Old JJ.
And I have in a few leagues as well.
There you go. I picked him up in a couple myself because, hey, I pay attention. You got to pay attention to be successful in fantasy, and that's why we got 2 great contributors with us weekly. That's Keith Fleming and Joe Bond. All right, high school slate coming up tonight. We got the Mosley Dolphins taking on the Escambia Gators at Tommy Oliver Stadium.
ESPN.
See, they knew it right there. They were excited about it. You got the action right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Make sure you download our free mobile app, or if you got the radio headset, you want to listen to David call the shots up there in the booth during the game, you can just listen to it right there on the field. But we got a whole big slate coming up this Friday. We'll dive through some of those here real quick. It starts with Arnold hosting Rutherford there. Rutherford looking for its first victory of the season. Arnold looking to bounce back after that tough loss to South Walton. And I heard you guys talking about the field conditions at Arnold versus Tommy Oliver, and we were there for the majority of that game, and we had mentioned it. Just ball was always wet, couldn't get the snap to the quarterback, and a lot of times the ball was coming out of Potter's hands, and hey. got to bounce back. Rutherford, Arnold. Look, Rutherford may have an opportunity to go 1-4 after this week. We'll see what happens. Bozeman traveling over to Sneads. Both teams under 500. Sneads trying to make it 500. Bozeman trying to get 2-3 on the season. And as I mentioned, the Mosley Dolphins trying to continue that winning streak, trying to make it 5-0, hosting the Escambia Gators tonight at 7 p.m. The pregame coverage starts right here in studio with Coach Brian Haddad and Coach Andy Siegel. They'll kick it over to David Hayes for your call here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Also got North Bay Haven. Some crazy stuff going on over there right now. Not going to dive into that, but they are 0-4 traveling over to Baker. That's going to be a tough one for them there. And PSJ, Port St. Joe, trying to get an
Why are we diving into the North Bay Haven thing?
Why aren't we?
Yeah,
because I don't know that information. I'm not going to speak on stuff I don't know.
No, 100%. But what we can say factually, it doesn't have to be out of your mouth, but out of my mouth, I will say like you talk about the Florida Gators being an unattractive destination because of the whole Billy Napier situation. North Bay Haven looking for their 5th coach now, I believe,
or 3 years.
Yeah, since 2022. Like what's going on?
There's some things that you got to peel back the onion to figure it out.
Yeah,
I just don't have.
You hate to see it. That's what I'll say. You hate to see that.
No, definitely not. Because who does it affect at the end of the day? The kids.
The kids?
Yeah.
100%.
The kids that stick with the pro. I mean, you can go wherever you want nowadays, and it's kind of a crazy thing. But also, I didn't get to mention it yesterday, but the other news out of North Bay Haven, little FSU softball signee. Tell everybody about that real quick that may not know.
Kaylee Goodpaster has been playing high school softball essentially since she was in the 6th grade, is a junior. Now, this year, she's also dealt with, I believe it was a stress fracture in her back, and she is headed to FSU to play softball. So you have 2 years to watch her right here in your backyard, and then she's only going an hour and a half to the east, right? For Tallahassee, and going to be playing for a dominant softball program, which is pretty daggum cool. And then we'll see what ends up happening with Arnold's Bree Clark, guys. She's very successful as well.
Big time pitcher, no doubt. But yeah, always cool to see, not just a Division I signing, but one of the top softball programs in the country year in and year out. So exciting stuff there. I know you had an opportunity to go see her do the signing.
Yeah.
That was the secret news that you were talking about. Lo and behold, there was other secret news that may not have been so secret.
I didn't even know about the coaching stuff. And I just want to give a shout out to Coach Butch Bernard for letting me in on that whole situation and just saying, hey man, you might want to be there at North Bay Haven at 2 p.m. So.
I like it. Hey, we appreciate that. That makes our job just a little bit easier. A couple more games here on our slate locally. Port St. Joe traveling over there to take on Destin, the battle of the Tiger Sharks and the Sharks. It'll be a...
which one do you got? Do you got the whole genre of Sharks or the whole... Give me the biology there.
There you go. I don't know. Tiger sharks are a lot more dangerous than some sharks, hammerheads and nurse sharks. But
sharks still have great whites
under
the umbrella.
That's true. But Destin's looking to get their first win of the season. Hampton Woodham quarterbacking that. Our good friend, Coach Josh Woodham, the OC over there, trying to get their first dub. And they've only been a program, I think, now for 3 years, looking to get their own field there at the school. So they're growing, making stuff happen. South Walton is hosting Florida State University High School. South Walton, after their win on Arnold last week, trying to go 500 against the 2-2 Florida State University High School. And then last but not least, you've got Bay traveling to Madison County, the Madison County 3-1 team. It's going to be a tough one there, I think, for Bay, but hey, that's why you play the game. The slate.
That is.
I'm excited.
Exactly why you play the game.
So it's going to be a beautiful night for football, too. I think it's going to get down to the low 80s once the sun goes down, maybe even peaks maybe into the 70s. I don't know.
It's going to be a little bit of a different broadcast. Maybe I would say even a little bit more buttoned up this evening compared to how it normally is with me and Kyle, being the chemistry that we have. Thoughts and prayers with Kyle Wright. Obviously, we talked last week about how his job burned down. Well, last night, he kind of took a little spill while in the batter's box and ended up having to go to the emergency room after that. So he will not be joining me on the broadcast, but we're going to have Robert Fleming doing it with us, which is going to be pretty cool for me to have a heck of a football player in the building with me.
Yeah,
you know
no doubt.
So,
no doubt.
Be a lot of fun. Make sure you guys tune in, but I would say even more importantly, thoughts and prayers with Kyle Wright.
Yeah, absolutely. But we got to go ahead and take a quick break. When we get back, we'll be joined by Joe Bond. He's the founder of Fantasy Six Pack. We're going to talk all your fantasy needs coming up this weekend. You're listening to The Inside Drive. We'll be right back.
Forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Friday. Sunny this afternoon and evening with a wind at 6 miles per hour out of the west and the high of 89. Tonight, look for a light breeze out of the east-northeast and clear skies with a temperature near 74. Tomorrow, a high around 89 and sunshine with a wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday, hot with a high of 88 and sunshine. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
ESPN Northwest Florida. We're the radio home of the Mosley Dolphins.
Tonight, the Mosley Dolphins put their undefeated season on the line. Join David Hayes and Kyle Wright for Mosley Dolphins live from Tommy Oliver Stadium versus the Escambia Gators. Coverage starts at 6, kickoff at 7. Mosley Dolphin football on ESPN Northwest Florida is sponsored by Panama City Toyota, Orthopedic Specialists, and Chapman Wealth Management. Golf is a game that should be fun, but to have the most fun, you need to play your best. That's where the experts at Golf Plus come in. Their friendly staff will guide you through the buying process, answer all your questions, and can help with any repairs you need along the way. Golf Plus is your custom fitting, club repair, and golf retail shop. Golf Plus staff is non-commissioned and will work with you to find the best product for your game, just like they've been doing since 1988. Golf Plus in Dothan and Panama City Beach. Fitting, repair, retail. That's Golf Plus.
Hello, this is Rick Vossen with RV of Panama City, your local Stormore portable building dealer, located at 2241 East Baldwin Road. Shopping for a garage, portable building, cabin? We build them anywhere from 8 to 16 foot wide, 10 feet to 60 feet long. We can do insulation, electricity, transom dormers, thermal windows. Come, let's customize a building together. Rick Vossen, Stormore portable building dealer, Panama City.
Do you suffer from political talk radio fatigue?
We know that under the 49% rate, the U.S. economy is
Tune into the most fun and exciting new radio show on the Gulf Coast. It's The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. From the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. Not as exciting this week with the Qatar not playing us in on Friday. And, you know, Joe was very surprised last week, so wanted to kind of keep him on his toes. But hopefully next week, Jay will be back all week, and we'll have some more guitar action. But you're listening to The Inside Drive, our good friend on the line. He's going to be with us every Friday at 11:20. He's Joe Bond. He's the founder of Fantasy Six Pack and going to give us all your DFS all your fantasy football action for what you need to do coming up to this kind of crazy week 3. Joe, how are you doing today?
Good, man. Thanks for having me. I was looking forward to this week's music.
I know. Trust me, I am too. And, you know, hey, but kudos to him. He's taking the Arnold golf team up. He's the coach of them. He's taking them up to play Athens Country Club and a couple of other places up there around the Atlanta area for a little team building weekend there as they get closer to the postseason. So I'll give him a pass for that. But, man, injuries have been the topic of conversation, you know, as we came out of week 2, and even more injuries continue to pile up. I mean, in that Rams 49ers game, it is going to be a game of attrition. Who's going to be left out there on the field. But obviously, when we talk to you, we're already through the waiver wire period, but more injuries continue to pop up. Who are some of the guys that you may be available that you think some people should look at if you're dealing with a decimated roster?
Yeah, try to rip through these pretty quick here. You know, quarterbacks, obviously, if you're missing Tua, hopefully you already found somebody. But if not, Geno Smith is out there. Not like super excited about him quite yet. That game was without KW3, so would like to see it with him on the field, but it's possible he misses this week too. So we could get more Geno Smith action here that's going to be useful. Over to the running back side, you know, the Chiefs obviously dealt with the Pacheco injury, which is just awful. This is going to change that offense drastically, in my opinion. I think ultimately we're going to get more Mahomes is what's going to happen. We're going to get more of the backyard football type Mahomes that we've seen in years past. But they are going to have to run the ball. They're going to have to utilize the running back somehow. Carson Steele is my go-to guy, but he's rostered in a lot of leagues. But Samaje Piron's still out there. I think he's going to get a lot of work in the passing down.
Yeah.
Maybe stash Kareem Hunt. He's not going to get elevated this week. I'd be super shocked if he was elevated off the practice squad this week. But, if you've got a back-end roster spot that you can churn, just pick him up, stash him. You never know. Bucky Irving is another guy. Rashad White's questionable.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he plays. Obviously, you guys know that Rashad White's questionable from where you guys are. But I'm guessing he plays. But even if not, Irving has looked good, and he's getting a solid amount of work here. So happy to have any running back that's getting useful work with how bad running back is right now with the injuries. Another guy injury related, Cam Akers. I can't believe I'm saying this name out loud.
Yes.
But Joe Mixon looks iffy. Damian Pierce doesn't look like he's playing. Akers isn't great by any means. He hasn't looked awful, though, but volume plays, and this offense is going to move the ball. So I think Akers is in play this week if Mixon is out. Over to the receiver side, just a couple ones. Jerry Jeudy is getting a lot of targets from Deshaun Watson. Not amounting to a lot, but hey, 14 targets, I'll take it. Darnell Mooney, Kirk Cousins is looking better after just 1 week. We're seeing it from Rodgers and Cousins, right? It's kind of coming back, knocking off the rust.
Yeah.
We're going to see it. 7 targets last week, caught a touchdown. And then Jawan Jennings, another injury one, right?
Buddy.
So no Debo, probably no Kittle.
Yeah, hamstring with Kittle. I would highly.
Jennings. Yeah, Jennings is looking like he could be in for a much larger workload. So there. And then I just want to give, I kind of wanted to add this in here. You guys didn't know I was going to do this, but defensive streamer of the week. This is something I do with my defenses in every single league that I use defenses. It has to be less than 50% rostered for me to say this on air, but I'm going Bucks over Denver.
Yes, sir.
And a little bonus one this week because there's 2 that I like a lot, and there's Raiders over Carolina.
Ooh, nice.
So I like both those streaming defenses this week that are out there.
Yeah, I use the strategy of every week I'm trying to pick up a new defense, and this week the Bucks, both the ESPN leagues, the Bucks were out there, and luckily got them on the waiver wire. I think I agree with you completely there. At home, they got a lot of momentum. Hopefully they can keep playing well, but Denver, Bo Nix really hasn't shown a lot yet, other than he's thrown some picks, and it's tough playing in the big boy league, no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, going into, obviously one of your things we've talked about is your ability to rank these players in fantasy. So who do you got as your top 5 quarterbacks and running backs going into week 3?
So my quarterback rankings here, and I know obviously it doesn't matter PPR or half, but you asked me to use PPR rankings, so I'll do that for the running backs here. I am pulling up my list, so I'm trying to take some time here just real quick. So my, where did it go? My apologies.
You're fine. I'm used to having Jay on the show.
So my number 1 quarterback here is going to be,
quarterbacks. I'm trying to figure out the quarterbacks this year too. There's a lot more running. There's a lot of quarterbacks that haven't been playing well the last few years, and all of a sudden they're starting to play well. And then you got guys like Joe Burrow. Do I trust Joe Burrow? Do I not trust Joe Burrow? So there's a lot of decisions I have to make going into this week. And Kirk Cousins showed a little bit of action there on Monday Night Football, and like you said, he's kind of easing into it, but going up against a tough Kansas City defense. But
yeah. So my top 5 here, no shocker, is Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Lamar, Pat Mahomes, and Kyler Murray. Kind of rounding out my top 5 there. A lot of running quarterbacks just kind of carry the load here. Pat Mahomes is the only one that really doesn't run a lot, but like I said, I expect him to shoulder more of the load right now with Pacheco out, and which is going to actually help Kelsey too. I probably would have started dropping Kelsey down the rankings because he just wasn't getting used, but with this injury to Pacheco, they're going to have to lean on Mahomes and Kelsey again to move this offense, I believe.
Yeah, because they haven't really had to yet so far this year, but here we are, week 3. Pacheco's out. You know, the receivers have been doing okay, but hey, that safety blanket, his best friend, Travis Kelsey, probably going to go off for a big week this week.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have to do it last year. You know, the defense has improved, the run game was improved, but now the defense is still kind of there, but the run game is going to be back to kind of mediocre. Running backs, I'm looking at Breece Hall, Bijan, Alvin Kamara, Jordan Mason's way up there, and Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, look at the old Mason man sneaking in your top 5. But I mean, it's situationally, so it makes perfect sense. But we're used to.
The Rams have not been good, so give me Jordan Mason, and then especially with no Debo, no Kittle.
No McCaffrey.
They're gonna lean on that run game for sure.
No doubt. Going to see a lot of runs going on there in SoFi. But Breece Hall had a decent game last night. He went for 54 and a touchdown. We were talking on the first segment of the show how kind of the carries were split a little bit between him and Allen, but he's still the main guy there, no doubt. But had some work in the pass game as well. So the running backs kind of obviously with McCaffrey being out, that's kind of where Mason's come in. But running backs have kind of been as expected so far this year. Fair to say?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
At least your top 10 or so.
The top guys have actually panned out. I mean, Gibbs and Barkley and Bijan, he hasn't exploded yet, but he's been good.
Yeah.
There's been a little wonkiness with Jonathan Taylor, where like last week they didn't use him in the fourth quarter.
That was weird.
Because they were passing, so you decided you wanted to use Trey Sermon instead? Okay, and that's probably one of the weirdest things I've ever heard from a coach. But, I think, for the most part, we're getting what we expected from the top guys here. Just minus the injuries, obviously.
Yeah, of course. And, it just seems like a lot, but then you go back every year, and it's just part of the game in the NFL is you're going to get a lot of injuries. It's the nature of the game, and that's why if you're big into fantasy, you got to know who's available, and you got to know what's going on, matchups, situational stuff, all that fun stuff. But, hey, let's have a little fun like we did last week. I'm going to make it a little tougher on you this week with our start and sit of the week. We will start in the QB category, and I've got you matching up Patrick Mahomes or Kyler Murray.
Ooh, yeah. So I mentioned them both.
Yep.
I mentioned them both. They are my 4 and 5. I'm leaning Mahomes just because, like I said, I think we're going to get a lot more passing volume from him. And this game could turn into a little bit of a shootout if Kirk Cousins takes another step forward and can kind of build off of last week against Philly. That last drive was phenomenal from him.
You even heard the announcers kind of say sometimes when you're running that 2-minute offense, it really opens you up because the 2-minute offense is something you practice all the time. The plays are very normal plays, not a lot of craziness. You typically move to the same formation every time for the sake of time. And it just showed when he has time and can get the ball out, he's still a heck of a quarterback. And man, what a comeback win. And I think that was a huge victory for the Falcons, kind of gift wrapped from Saquon Barkley there, but that's
our boy Keith Fleming loved that, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. A little small glimmer of hope for the Falcon faithful there, but yeah. So Patrick Mahomes makes sense, like you kind of said. Running back situation, he may have the ball a little bit more in his hands than he normally does. Kyler Murray, I mean, they're hosting Detroit. He's looked great both games. Detroit just lost a tough one there. They're looking to bounce back. So yeah, I 100% agree. Patrick Mahomes over that one. All right, next is another 2 from your top 5. Got Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts. Both guys get a lot of yards on the ground.
Yeah, I'm going Jalen Hurts. I just think the touchdowns are there for Jalen Hurts. That maybe not so much there for Lamar. Sorry, my dog is, I got a new puppy, and my dog is trying to eat something.
Yes.
So I had to pause for a second. I was like, what are you doing? It's just I think the touchdown predictability is there for Jalen Hurts. They got that touch push when they get down there. And, if the Ravens get down inside the 5-yard line, they've got Derrick Henry that they can lean on. Not that, Philly can't give it to Saquon, but, if they get within like the 1 or 2, they're just going to tush push. They don't even care.
Yeah,
so,
and it still looks like they got it. They were able to get them on top surfing there, that's for sure.
First week it got stuffed.
Yep.
Last week was money.
No doubt. It's because Jason Kelsey was hanging out and he was in the booth there in that third quarter.
Yeah.
Helped him channel their inner tush push. Side question to that: more surprising what happened to Dallas against the Saints, or the Saints, the fact that they're scoring a ridiculous amount of points and looking pretty darn good?
That's an interesting one.
I know.
Honestly, I think I'm more surprised with the Saints putting up this many points, especially in back-to-back weeks.
Yep.
Like, you get like one fluky week, fine.
Yeah.
2 in a row, all right, you've got my attention.
Yeah, no doubt.
For real, you've got my attention. This new offense that they're running is looking pretty good here.
Made it look good.
It's just weird because, a lot of people really are going after Derek Carr. He's climbing up in, the roster percentage ranks here. I want to seem like a normal game script game. It's been like they get up by like 20, 30, and it's just like they don't have to do anything, but he's already put up, 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, 200 yards, and then they just take the foot off the pedal. I want to see him in a more competitive game before I kind of believe it.
Yeah.
Because, but I'm all for picking him up, and like, if you want a QB2, go ahead. I have a hard time throwing him in my lineup quite yet over a lot of these guys.
We're going to find out this weekend with their hosting the Philadelphia Eagles, trying to bounce back from that loss against the Atlanta Falcons, and the Saints. I think it's a good test on the defensive side of football. You thought Dallas was going to be, but Dallas is one of those teams, they seem like they get punched in the mouth and they just can never get back up. They play much better from getting out on a lead, and when teams kind of get after them, they kind of seem to fold just a little bit. So that's a big one I got my eye on this weekend as far as matchups.
I'll say this too, though. Like, it may not be as much of a defensive test for Derek Carr either. His Philly's secondary is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, their linebackers are pretty good, their front's pretty good. The secondary has been bad for 2 years now, so maybe we don't see it. Who knows?
Yeah, or shoot, Saints blow out another team. I guess we'll find out. All right, I threw a quirky one in there on the quarterback stardom sit-em. Brock Purdy or Anthony Richardson?
Yeah, I'm going Richardson here. Purdy's just missing too many weapons for me to want to take him over a Richardson. Purdy's outside my top 12 actually, so I don't want to start him. Although the matchup is good and not so good for Richardson, but I'm still going to go Richardson and that rushing floor.
Yeah, I need to see a lot from AR this week after what happened on his first outdoor football game of his NFL career. A lot of people forget he's played less than 8 games. I think that was his 8th game playing as a starting quarterback. Obviously, he got hurt last year a couple times, ended up being rest of the season. But still, for me, the jury's still out. But yes, matchup wise, I think that makes sense. All right, let's do a quick running back stardom sit-em. I had Breece Hall and Bijan Robinson. Obviously, Breece Hall played last night, but let's pretend he's playing this week. Who would you have probably went with in that one? I'm just curious.
I would have gone Hall.
Okay.
You're whatever. Like, they're both phenomenal. Both of my top 5. So
yeah, no doubt, no doubt. All right, 2 players that had a massive week 2. That's Alvin Kamara and James Cook. If you had to choose one, who are you taking?
I am going to go with Alvin Kamara. I think he's going to be able to just keep riding this. We're not going to get a 4-touchdown game from him, but I really like Alvin Kamara this week. Cook is good as well, but I think Kamara is really going to benefit from this new offense, it looks like.
Yeah, no doubt. I think those Saints are having a lot of fun, too, which looks pretty cool. Last but not least, I've got Jordan Mason and Devon Achane.
Yeah, I'm going Mason, although I will say Achane's probably going to rise up. It sounds like Mostert is looking doubtful, so I had Achane a little bit lower with the off chance that Mostert was going to be in. But also you got to lower Achane because they're going to get a full game now with Skylar Thompson. And, we see it all the time. The backups come in mid-game and sort of like the adrenaline's running or whatever, and like they have a good game like for that half of a game. And then they get like the whole week, the opposing defense gets the whole week to prepare for them, and they don't look so good.
Yeah.
So you could see this whole offense take a massive step back, unfortunately, for Miami.
Yeah, unfortunately. And Mostert just can never really stay on the field too much. He's a heck of a back when he's healthy, but definitely struggles on staying out there on the field. Joe, we have ran out of time. Let everybody know real quick before we take a break where they can find your information.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me again. And you can find me on Twitter at 6P, the number 6_ Joe. Obviously, all the stuff over there on fantasy6pack.net. Become an all-access member to get access to my rankings, which are updated pretty much daily, sometimes multiple times a day throughout the week. And that's where we're at.
Awesome. Awesome stuff, Joe. Well, we appreciate you very much. Good luck this weekend, and we look forward to talking to you next Friday.
All right, you too. See you next week.
Take care. Hopefully we got some guitar next week. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida, your home for Mike Greenberg.
That season is going to go down as a terrible year for the Giants. That was a bad team that somehow, through good coaching, and Daboll wound up the coach of the year, and Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones doing the things he can do, they wound up winning a bunch of games, and they made the playoffs, and they won a playoff game. And it convinced them and maybe others they were something that they clearly were not.
Greeny. Weekdays on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-0453.
Attention homeowners, are you dreaming of a backyard oasis? Look no further than S&R Fencing, your go-to destination for quality outdoor transformations. At S&R, they specialize in crafting custom fences, decks, retainer walls, and all exterior construction that not only enhances the beauty of your home, but also stands the test of time. Their experienced team takes pride in delivering top-notch craftsmanship with a personal touch. S&R Fencing, locally owned, licensed, and insured, and a member of the BBB.
Did you know that fees associated with real estate closings are virtually the same from one title company to the next? So what sets South Oak Title apart? Effective communication, customer service, expertise, and technology. If you're buying or selling real estate, refinancing a residential or commercial property, tell your realtor you want to close with South Oak Title. South Oak Title, with locations across the Southeast, including Panama City Beach, Inlet Beach, Destin, and Fort Walton Beach. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
For the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey and Jay Henley.
This man is destroying golf.
Broadcasting live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios.
You may be right, but our ratings are up and we're attracting new youthful sponsors.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida, your home for the Auburn Tigers here in the Panhandle. Coach Freeze and the Auburn Tigers open up SEC play tomorrow at 2:30 up there at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Coverage starts right here on ESPN Northwest Florida at 1 p.m. Don't forget, we are your number one destination for college football and the Auburn Tigers right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. All right, we don't have a ton of open segments today to talk about some college football, but I figured we'd dive into maybe just a couple of these big-time games coming up. A few, not a huge slate this weekend, but we got a couple. It starts tonight with Illinois and Nebraska. Illinois 3-0, Nebraska 3-0, both opening up their Big Ten play up there in Lincoln, Nebraska, I believe, is where the University of Nebraska is. If I'm not mistaken, Nebraska is a 7.5-point favorite over under 42.5. Man, should be an interesting game. I don't know a lot about Illinois. I know a lot about their golf team, but not necessarily about their football team. And Nebraska, Dylan Raiola, trying to really get things going and right the ship. 3-0 start to the season, including that victory over Colorado. It's a big one for them tonight as they want to make a run at this Big Ten championship. So, hey, it starts tonight against the Illini, the Fighting Illini, I should say. And then coming up this Saturday, you got a big one in the Big House. A home underdog, that is Michigan. They are currently +5 at home against the Trojans. Are the Trojans the real deal this year? Is the defense complementing the offense? That's been the hang-up the last few years. We shall find out come. That's the 2:30 CBS game there. That's USC, again, traveling up there to the Big House, opening up their Big Ten play for the first time in history. Michigan's 2-1. USC is 2-0. Obviously, should be a good matchup. Run game for Michigan's their strong suit. USC obviously likes to pass, move the ball. What I'm looking for to see is USC's defense going to help them in big games too as well. I guess we shall find out on that one. And then we got kind of a crazy one. I believe Dave mentioned this one yesterday. We've got Utah and Oklahoma State. That is your number 12 team in the country versus your number 14 team in the country. Utah opening up its first ever Big 12 conference game against Oklahoma State. Both teams 3-0. It's the battle of the ages, some may say. We've got quarterback Cam Rising. He's a 7th-year senior. He's 25 years old. He was born in the previous, I guess that would be century hit, 1999. And then, of course, Alan Bowman. He is also a 7th-year senior, age 24, born March 6th, 2000. I think I like Oklahoma State's 2.5-point favorite. I'm going to take them at home to take down Utah. I don't know the status of Cam Rising's hand. Obviously, he's starting, but I like to see Oklahoma State win this one with Utah coming in for the first time in the Big 12. All right, we got one more big-time ranked matchup, and the bookies, the Vegas, all the people don't think maybe it's going to be that big time as Tennessee. It has dropped on ESPN Bet down to 6.5. So if you like that under the 7, you might want to jump on that right now. Oklahoma, a big home underdog to the Tennessee Volunteers. Tennessee's obviously dominating on the point differential right now, scoring about 1 million points in the 3 games that they've played and only allowed a few as well. But this is certainly a test not only for Tennessee but for Oklahoma. Oklahoma's first game in the SEC. A lot of first-time new conference realignment games coming up this weekend. If Tennessee's the real deal, I just don't see Oklahoma hanging too much in this particular game. So, hey, but the Vols, number 6 in the country, Oklahoma, number 15. A lot of other games coming up. As I mentioned, the Auburn Tigers playing at 2:30 right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. They're opening up their conference play with the Arkansas Razorbacks. Both Georgia and Alabama on a bye week this week. I think that is correct. They both play each other coming out of the bye week up there at Tuscaloosa. That's going to be a big one in week 5 of the football slate. All right. Looking forward to seeing those games. And again, just tune into ESPN Northwest Florida all weekend long as we'll have all your great NFL and college football action, including every play from that Auburn Tigers game. Did want to jump on golf for a second. There was some news that came out yesterday. I'll be brief with it. But the PGA of America came out and said, and now remember, the PGA of America and the PGA Tour, 2 completely separate things. The PGA Tour said that LIV players will be eligible to qualify for the PGA Championship as well as the Ryder Cup. Now, they still have to get points to get on the Ryder Cup, but all 3 of the other majors do allow LIV players to play. Now with the PGA Championship allowing LIV players to play, if they play well in the majors, they might be able to play themselves onto the Ryder Cup team, just like Brooks Koepka did, not this year, but the previous year. And captain's picks, now the captains feel, or it'll be Keegan Bradley, will feel a lot less pressure as he can choose who he thinks the best players for the team are and not have to worry about them being on the LIV Tour. So just a quick little update there on the saga that is continuing for the PGA Tour and the LIV Tour action. Got some interesting fun facts, different things, but the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL this season are currently 2 and 7. Dak Prescott, $60 million a year. He is 1-1. Jordan Love, $55 million a year. He is 0-1. Trevor Lawrence, who's extended for another $55 million a year. He is 0-2, including Joe Cool. Joe Cool. He's $55 million a year, and he is 0-2 as well. And then Tua, who's going to be out for an indefinite amount of time with that concussion injury, $53.1 million, was 1-1 when he went down. So hey, just goes to show you, paying them doesn't necessarily correlate to making the most money on that.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. It's been interesting to see that too, right? I mean, Dak Prescott being the latest of the big-time moneymakers, but it's something else, man. Seeing them get the big bags, and it doesn't correlate to wins. And we'll see what the future holds for how the process goes for paying quarterbacks, because it seems to be, when you got those young quarterbacks outside of, Patrick Mahomes is the difference.
He's the anomaly,
right?
No doubt. No doubt. But yeah, and we talked a little bit about that yesterday with the Bryce Williams thing. Is Caleb Williams going to pan out? Are we going to see kind of a little bit of shift on how these quarterbacks get paid? And I think that's what we'll certainly find out when it comes to that action. Speaking of injured quarterbacks, this is how much money or not just injured quarterbacks, but injuries are costing these players per game. T. Higgins, currently $1.283 million. His injuries has cost him per game. Keenan Allen, who's just been struggling to stay on the field the last few years, and I'm sure he'd like to be out there with for Caleb Williams to have another target. He's losing $1.064 million per game. Both of those are more than Brock Purdy's annual salary, but he's doing a lot more commercials now, so the young man's making a little bit more money. Cooper Kupp, $882,000 per game he is missing out on. Marquise Hollywood Brown, $205,882. Jordan Love, $205,882 as well, as they have the same contract. Joe Mixon missing out on $176,470 per game. Kenneth Walker, $86,612 per game, and then AJ Brown and Tua Tagovailoa at $66,167. But yeah, man, T. Higgins, $1.2 million a game that you are currently missing by being injured. So hey, that's one of the big differences with the NFL. When you are injured, you are not getting paid. And speaking of injuries, we mentioned it earlier, but that San Francisco 49ers Los Angeles Rams game is going to be interesting. I know the Niners, last time I looked, were 7.5-point favorite, and it might be the first NFL home dog this season. I thought we had one last week. One of the teams was 2.5 at home, underdog. But there no Christian McCaffrey, no Cooper Kupp, no Puka Nacua, no Deebo Samuel, possibly no George Kittle, no Steve Avila, no Jonah Jackson, amongst several others on both teams, and it is only week 3, which you could say is good and you could say is bad, because that gives you time to have your players come back, but you got to win football games as well.
Panthers were a home dog last week.
I knew there was one that was a home dog, and if there was one to guess there was to be a home dog, it would definitely be that one. But yeah, people losing money out there.
Packers were a home dog last week.
That's the one I was thinking of. They were, and they ended up covering and then money lining it. Yeah, they Malik Willis led them to a charge. That's the one I was thinking of specifically. I had that. I think it was 2.
Titans were a home dog.
Okay, yeah, so multiple home dogs. They say there's some trends when it comes to home dogs, but so far that has not been proven yet in this season.
And the last one, the Broncos.
The Broncos. So all the teams that kind of make sense when it comes to that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't know. But a lot of big action coming up this weekend. Looking forward to a lot of these games. We'll be up there in Auburn. Hopefully we'll be back just in time for that 3:05 kickoff for the Niners and the Rams. I got a big Sunday night football game coming up. Chiefs and Falcons. Are the Falcons, the real deal with Kirk Cousins? I don't know. We'll find out. Big test there at home, coming off that emotional victory in the last drive of the game.
Yeah, and I don't think that we really get to see if teams are the real deal or not until like week 5 or 6, especially with the way that players opt out of preseason, and it does kind of feel preseason-esque right now. But the Falcons, I think, Well, they
Falcons are a home dog.
With their game against Philly, though, last week, Philly, with that giving up the ghost, essentially, in the final 2 minutes, the Eagles and the Falcons are tied for such games, I believe, over like the last 2 years or so.
Interesting little fun fact there. But yeah, the dual Monday night football slate coming up. Obviously, we'll talk a little bit more of those on Monday. But got a couple 0-2 teams that desperately need a win, with the Jaguars going to travel up there to Buffalo. That's going to be a tough one for them, no doubt. And then Cincinnati, a huge favorite at home, 7.5 points over the Commanders. I kind of like the Commanders getting 7.5 there against the Bungles that need to get things going.
Bengals I feel like they're gonna.
This is the game.
Yeah. This is the. Okay, the Bengals are good. Oh, Joe Burrow is back.
I hope so, because I'm starting him in one of my leagues. Yeah. So I need him to have him a Joe Burrow-esque game. Just real quick, I know we'll do a pick 'em at the end of the show. We'll get Jay on the line. But Ravens Cowboys, more important for the Cowboys to win that one or the Ravens to win that one? I know the Ravens are 0-2 and the Cowboys are 1-1. They did get a victory week 1, but then got embarrassed last week by the Saints. Kind of a weird scenario that one win between the two teams going into this week 3 matchup.
I would say that it's more important for the Cowboys because they're at the house. However, they're 1-1, so they're not in that 0-2 territory where the Baltimore Ravens are 0-2. Yep. And if you lose this game, especially if you kind of like Notre Dame losing in Northern Illinois, right? Like the Raiders were expected to beat the Ravens. That's a tough loss at home. You've got
especially when you're up by 10 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
Niners know that.
But so they're coming back from heartbreak, if you will, but the Dallas Cowboys got absolutely throttled. So
at home,
I think, that's what I'm saying. I think that it's more important for the Cowboys, but then I think that the Ravens are in a tougher division. So there's that.
Yeah. And again, like you said, it's early in the season, but 2-0 is 0-2 is a tough hole, but 0-3 is that ditch is starting to get a little bit bigger. But we got to go ahead and take a quick break. When we get back, we'll dive in some afternoon delight debriefs on this Guitarless Friday. You're listening to The Inside Drive. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Colin Cowherd. I would probably call it a wrap. If Tua was my son, I would suggest calling it a wrap. But I'm not a pro athlete. Thinking about this morning, I wonder if the NFL should not consider an amnesty clause. The payer gets played. It's an amnesty clause. It doesn't go against your salary cap, so it doesn't punish the teammates.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Weekdays, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Friday. Sunny this afternoon and evening with a wind at 6 miles per hour out of the west and the high of 89. Tonight, look for a light breeze out of the east-northeast and clear skies with a temperature near 74. Tomorrow, a high around 89 and sunshine with a wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday, hot with a high of 88 and sunshine. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
WPLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Haven, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hey folks, Chris Kramer with Bill Kramer GM. And the best place to listen to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is inside a brand new vehicle from Bill Kramer GM. And I want you to know we've got 10 times the amount of inventory on the ground as we did this time last year, and darn near all of them are discounted. So shop us online at BillKramerGM.com or visit us the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd. We'll make it easy and take great care of you.
Broadcasting live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios.
Have a quick stretch first.
The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey.
Must have pulled something playing hoops last week.
And Jay Henley.
I know you're not putting that rock up from here. You ain't got no J.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida, 104.3 in Panama City Beach, and all the surrounding areas, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. Watch, listen, like, comment, subscribe, share, follow Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Just search it up, ESPN Northwest Florida. If you already follow or subscribe, we appreciate you very much. Of course, you can also find our free mobile app inside the Google Play or Apple Store. All you got to do is search 104.3. You'll see that app pop up. Download it. You open it up. Boom. You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida wherever you are. Make sure you got it for tonight. And the Mosley Dolphins taking on the Escambia Gators right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. You can also head over to ESPNPC.com. Scroll down just a little bit. You'll see that TV channel logo. That is KHS TV. $40 a month. A million channels. Some say 5,000, but I don't know who actually counted all those. So it's probably give or take 5,000. And yeah, all the pay-per-view action, everything you could possibly want for a mere $40 a month. Do yourself a favor. I don't even know who has the cord anymore. Even my parents got the cord from DirecTV as the ESPN debacle had them make the move, and I'm sure a lot of thousands of other people did the same thing. But hey, KHS TV, a fantastic option for your streaming services. Also got to give a huge shout out to Bill Kramer GM and Kramer Marine and Outdoor right there at the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd Street. On the GM side, lots of new vehicles in stock, used vehicles as well. Great rates. The Fed cut the rates half a point. So if you want to get out there and get a new vehicle over 6,000 pounds, you can write off 90% of that in the first year and then depreciate the rest of it. I don't know how many more years it takes, but over 6,000 pounds and you can get a significant deduction. Bill Kramer can make it easy and take great care of you, and they'll walk you right through that. And also, boating season, first day of fall coming up this Sunday. Fall means fishing. Fishing needs a boat. If you need a boat, you go to Kramer Marine and Outdoor. If you have a boat and it's not working the way you want it to, you can give them a call as well. They'll come out to you with their mobile service, but they sell Seabourn, Spider, Sundance, and Skeeter. Check out all that new and used inventory at KramerMarineandOutdoor.com. Also, just when you thought we were done giving away stuff, we are back. It is the Race to Talladega, the fall edition. Coming up next week, we will give you the keyword of the day on the Coach James Hale Show at 7:15 and 8:15. And then as soon as you get that keyword, you text it in and your racing name to 850-215-6290. And then listen to the Inside Drive here at 12:40 and the Afternoon Underdogs at 5:40. If we announce your name, race to the phones and give us a call back. Just like always, your qualifying time is how fast it takes you to give us a call. The two fastest qualifying times will win a pair of tickets to the Yellowwood 500 and passes to the United Rental 250 on October 5th. So you can go have a whole race weekend up there at Talladega. That's going to be October 5th and October 6th. All qualifiers will also instantly win a Rudy's Barbecue gift card and a 12-pack of Buffalo Rock. That's the Race to Talladega right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Man, we just give everything away. I'm excited. Next Thursday, we will have Brian Crichton again on the line. He's the president of Talladega Super Speedway, and I really enjoyed talking to him last time, so can't wait to get him back on the line next week. It is the Afternoon Delight debrief segment. I'm going to start with a very short and sweet one, but a pretty cool one. David Hayes may like this as well if we were up there in the Nashville area. But the Tennessee Titans dropped off game-worn jerseys, pants, sideline shorts, thermal gear, and much more team action to a local Goodwill. Pretty cool gesture there by the Tennessee Titans. They got some pictures of it, and I mean, it's just a complete rack of all sorts of game-worn jerseys from the Tennessee Titans.
They just gave it to Goodwill.
Just gave it to Goodwill.
That's a show of goodwill there.
Indeed it was.
Yeah.
I wonder how long...
Surprised the Fanatics was like, no, you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, maybe the Goodwill's got a clause with Fanatics. But yeah, I mean, you look, it's a massive Goodwill, but there's just a whole rack of Titans jerseys. I wonder how quickly they've all lasted there.
Yeah, I was about to say, I need someone to head up to Nashville for me and go get me some Will Levis game-worn jersey so I could put that in my coffee.
There you go. Well, they got some mayo stains on them, so you can just squeeze the mayo.
Yummy.
Mayo indeed. Oh, man. All right, let's dive through some of these. This is her normal action. What's funny is I talked about those toys yesterday that made it into the Hall of Fame. I just had searched that up because I had heard about it on some news channel, and then now that story has made it to the UPIs. So I'll skip over it because we already talked about it today. But this one, escaped pigs wrangled as school kids cheer. September 19th, a pair of pigs on the loose for 2 days in British Columbia City were wrangled after a prolonged chase before an audience of cheering elementary students. The pigs, who had been wandering in the neighborhoods of West Kelowna for at least 2 days, were spotted Wednesday near the Mark Jock Elementary School, leading police, animal control, and multiple rescue groups to respond. We ended up catching the first pig really easily in the field. It actually went very smooth, and we got him in the van. But the other little guy, he was out. So probably about 30 minutes up and down hills, we ended up getting him in the corner of a yard with a bit of fencing that had been broken. Jacinda Beyer of the Petras Potascures told Castanet. Faith Affleck, owner of Stars Piggly Wiggly Sanctuary, said watching the elementary school students were clearly on the side of the pig. They were cheering for him so hard, yelling, "Go, Piggy, go." The pigs are being cared for at Star Piggly Wiggly Sanctuary while officials attempt to identify the owner. I don't know if I was a pig and I'd go to a sanctuary called Piggly Wiggly. I feel like I'd end up in a Piggly Wiggly.
Or in a blanket.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true. Pigs in a blanket.
Yes, sir.
Good times for all. Good times for all. But hey, pigs on the loose, safely captured. Exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. All right.
The person who caught the 50th home run ball from Shohei Ohtani, walked off with it. He's going to keep it.
Yeah, yep.
Nice.
Yeah, I think the next one was the one that the guy fumbled.
Oh,
because he hit 3.
51st?
Yeah,
he hit 3 of them last night. Yeah, 49, 50, 50.
Insane.
Oh, Tani.
Oh, Tani, indeed. All right, next I've got fare dodging squirrels cause chaos aboard train in England. A train to British's Gatwick Airport was canceled when a pair of mischievous squirrels boarded without tickets and proceeded to cause chaos for the paying passengers. The Great Western Railway said the train from Reading, England to Gatwick Airport in London was diverted Saturday due to squirrels on board. Officials said human passengers were evacuated to other cars and a Network Rail employee tried to use food to lure the animals off the train at a train stop in Redhill. The train was ultimately sent back to Reading when one of the squirrels refused to leave. We can confirm that the 0854 Reading to Gatwick was terminated at Redhill after a couple squirrels boarded the train at Gomshall without tickets. Well, have you seen squirrels board trains with tickets before? I doubt it.
Only the flying ones.
That's true. They don't need the train, though. They take the airplanes.
They gotta use the train to get to the plane.
That's true. Trains, planes, and automobiles.
Absolutely.
And flying squirrels.
Modern day commute. I was gonna. Never mind.
Yep. But anyway, after a couple squirrels boarded the train at Gomshall without tickets, breaching railway bylaws. Nice pun there. A GWR representative told the BBC, "We attempted to remove them at Redhill, but one refused to leave and was returned to Reading to bring an end to this nutty tale." Man, who would have known that 2 squirrels could have been so disrupting to just some normal traffic there? Come on, people.
I don't know. They're pretty... Well, usually I guess they just get squashed.
That's true. And hopefully squashed and put out of their misery because sometimes you see them spinning around.
That's...
Not good. I've told the story before about my uncle and the rock throwing and all that stuff. That was a sad tale. My mom was not happy. Do you remember that story?
I don't.
All right, well, I'm going to tell it then.
There we go.
It's not great, but hey, stuff happens.
We need time to kill.
That's it. It's the Afternoon Delight debrief, and there's a couple other ones, but we may get into those too. But anyway, so New Jersey, my uncle, they're from Oregon. They're big-time animal people and all that. Very, hippie-ish, I guess you could say. Anyway, they're at the house. There was squirrels on the bird feeder. We had a big backyard. And for some reason, me and my uncle, I was young, we just started to try to throw rocks to hit the bird feeder and knock the squirrels off. well, after several attempts and stuff like that, my uncle throws one. You hear this very distinctive kind of thudding, soft sound. Hit the squirrel right in the head. The squirrel starts spinning around, doing all that stuff. My mom is freaking out, yelling at him, how could you do that, all this stuff? So eventually he has to go get the squirrel, bring it to the woods. I guess he put it out of his misery. I don't know, but I will always think of that story when I see squirrel stories that we talk about.
Oh, man, I
wasn't on purpose.
No,
a lot of that is done on purpose, but that was not.
Well, have you ever eaten squirrel?
No.
It's good.
I've heard.
It is good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you say it's good. Everything tastes like chicken, I feel like. So there's that. But yeah, I've had plenty of squirrel before. And I'm just not. I was going to tell another story, and it doesn't have to do with squirrels, but I'm just going to stay away from that one.
Yeah. Hey, that's fine. Yeah, man. Maybe one of your other personalities can tell the story.
I'm just gonna stay away from it. I think I might have said it before, but it's just one of those.
Yeah, very good. We're good. I'll jump back into the other animal stories.
There we go.
This one's a little
Keep
more.
it rolling.
This one's a little more nice. So, zoo pauses search for extremely comfortable escaped capybara. Capybara, one of my favorite animals out there. A British zoo announced it has temporarily halted the search for its escaped capybara to avoid stressing out the animal, who is said to be extremely comfortable and happy on the loose. The Who Zoo and Dinosaur World in Telford, which earlier revealed a capybara named Cinnamon, escaped from the facility during the weekend. I would have no idea how many animals escape from things if we didn't live off this UPI site during the afternoon delight debrief, but apparently it's a common thing. Apparently we need to do better keeping them in. But anyway, the capybara named Cinnamon escaped from the facility during the weekend, said a thermal drone located the animal in a wooded area about 650 feet away from the zoo on Tuesday. The zoo said Cinnamon was spotted again on Wednesday in the same area. Unfortunately, the area is extremely dense with almost impenetrable undergrowth that Cinnamon can easily move under, but we cannot, the zoo said on social media. Zoo officials are pausing the recapture efforts until Friday night to avoid causing stress to the capybara and potentially causing her to flee further from the zoo. During our searches, we found plenty of fresh tracks and capybara poo, and it looks like Cinnamon is extremely comfortable and happy in the area, the zoo said. The post said Cinnamon is not in any danger from predators in the area and has ample access to food sources. We've placed multiple live traps in the area and will be checking these multiple times a day, but won't be conducting any further mass searches until Friday night, officials wrote. And that is the end of that story. Maybe the capybara is happy because it's not in the zoo anymore anyway. You know, maybe the capybara doesn't want to be in the zoo, so it's nice and comfortable outside of the zoo. But it's also not its native area there. But all right, we'll keep going. We'll continue with the some animal stories. A cat vanishes in Yellowstone, turns up 800 miles away. That is a lot of miles. That is a long journey. September 19th, a cat who went missing during a camping trip in Yellowstone National Park turned up 60 days later on the streets of a California town more than 800 miles away. This sounds familiar, but I think it's a new story. It just seems to be a common tale with dogs and cats getting lost and then showing up a long way away. Benny and Suzanne Anaguano of Salinas, California, said they often take their cats with them on camping trips. But during a June camping trip to Yellowstone National Park, one of their pets, named Rainbow, was spooked and ran off into the trees. The couple said they spent days searching for the feline, but eventually had to go home without him. The Antaguanos received a message 60 days later from PetWatch revealing Rainbow was at the Placer SPCA in Roseville, California, more than 800 miles from where he had vanished. The SPCA said the cat had been brought in by a woman who found him wandering loose in the streets of Roseville. The couple said they do not know how Rainbow managed to travel so far, but they are hoping someone will come forward with the story. They said their reunion with their pet highlights the importance of having pets microchipped. Something we say often here on the Inside Drive that seems to be key on how you get your pets back. No doubt about that.
Well, Chinese zoogoers are barking mad because they've learned that they had pandas in there that were actually just painted dogs. And I'm looking at the video right now. This is on TMZ, and they look like those chows.
Yeah.
And they're just
they painted him like pandas.
That's ridiculous.
What a hoax.
Especially in China, right? Like, doesn't that seem like the place where
dogs get eaten?
Well, true, but panda bears is like kind of more
and they're
native to.
Yeah, no, I think that's where they originated.
Yeah.
The endangered species of the giant panda.
Well, I guess if, you don't want to endanger them anymore and you'd rather keep them wild, that makes sense then, right?
Well,
just paint some dogs.
False advertising there from the Chinese zoo, but I doubt they care.
Yeah.
You will look at the dog pandas and you will like it.
Yeah, that's that's pretty wild.
Yeah. Well, or domesticated, however you want to look at it. Whew. Man, China. You got another one?
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought you found.
I'm trying over here, Ryan. It's just we need Jay's interactions.
Hopefully he has a lot coming up next week. I've talked about some of these other ones before. There's a lot of ones about.
Let's talk sports. How about we just do that?
Oh, that's true.
Right. I can help you out a little bit more in that department.
This is a sports show, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. I know the WNBA playoffs are set, and the Fever are in there.
Caitlin Clark passing Diana Taurasi last night with the record for 3-pointers in a season. So impressive stuff there. Yeah. Are you? How many WNBA games have you watched this year? I'm at 3 quarters.
I think I've watched 2.
3?
Both
two games?
Caitlin Clark games.
Yeah.
In both games, I bet on Caitlin Clark props.
Yeah.
So that kind of drove.
So are you going to tune into the playoffs, you think? Or
I think if I can, if it works.
Yeah, no doubt.
Absolutely. I mean, and I will say that it's completely because of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. I mean, I've never even paid attention to the standings before.
Yeah.
Before this year, I couldn't even have told you when their season was played or how many games they played. So
I've always seen it on the ticker or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, still. I think because it's, and I'm glad that it is popular. I'm glad that a lot more people are tuning into the WNBA.
Absolutely.
And it is, yes, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are driving the bus, but Angel Reese is injured and has been injured for a couple of weeks now. So that hurts. And the Chicago Sky is not going to be a part of the playoffs. But with that being said, I think the Indiana Fever are going to end up being the 6th seed in the playoffs. So that's great for the WNBA to have that there. But I still think that the Las Vegas Aces are going to end up being the class.
was that going to be a three-peat?
I believe that would be 3 in a row. Yeah.
Impressive
so
stuff.
We'll see. Maybe, I think I'll watch if Caitlin Clark and them get eliminated.
Yeah.
I'm so, when everything is so trendy or whatever, I'm like,
you're against the grain kind of guy.
Yeah.
Hey, I like it.
That's why I'm bald.
Yeah. Well, you shave against the grain. They say that it really helps to get down to the root or whatever you call it. But yes, real quick, the Atlanta Liberty are the number 1 seed they'll be hosting the Atlanta Dream coming up starting this Sunday. So kudos to the Atlanta team getting it in there. The Minnesota Lynx will be hosting the Phoenix Mercury also starting Sunday. That's the 2 versus 7 matchup. The Connecticut Sun versus the Indiana Fever. Connecticut Sun is the 3 seed, as David said. The Indiana Fever is the 6th seed. That starts this Sunday as well coming up. And then the Las Vegas Aces, the 4 seed this year, will be hosting the Seattle Storm again starting this Sunday, September 22nd. I guess they play best out of 3 series.
Couldn't tell you.
It looks like because it says game 1, 2, and 3, and the asterisk on game 3 says if
then that
necessary.
Would be best of 3. I wonder if they go best of 3 all the way throughout. We'll find out as
hey, we're all learning together. But
absolutely,
I think it's fantastic that sports getting the recognition that it needs, and hopefully it continues on into next year and years beyond. That's for sure. But hey. They made the playoffs. It's something that I don't know. Has the Fever ever done that before? Who knows?
I don't know. This is their first time being over 500 in quite some time. So,
good chance that that may be the case then. But anyway, getting back to a couple more NFL games coming up this weekend. Obviously, we got Aaron Bearden coming up next, and then we'll have Jay. We're actually going to give Jay, our guest picker. He's not our guest picker. He's usually our normal picker, but we're going to give him a call. He's on the road up there to Atlanta and Athens Country Club, and hopefully they have some nice team building going on there as they suffered that loss in the big match earlier this week. And then I know he texted us yesterday. He was playing I forgot he was playing in a golf tournament over there at Port St. Joe Golf Club with Chris Kramer and a couple other fellas, and I think they said they shot 44. And I was trying to figure that out. I mean, if you've got mulligans and string and holes where you can, get a hole in one if you pay money, I can see that happening. But especially if they got Sam Judah on their team, the World Long Drive guy. I'm looking forward to he's going to come in studio with us at some point and talk about the World Long Drive circuit and what it is all about. But we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. Aaron wasn't with us last week. Excited to talk to him this week. He was up in the Northeast checking on some professional sport action that his uncle's involved in. We'll talk about that when we get back. You listen to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's here. The 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida app version 2.0. Now featuring ultra high fidelity. You'll feel like you're in the game. Plus more opportunities to win weekly prizes from local businesses when you click it to win it. Download the 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida app today at Google Play or the Apple Store.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Friday. The remainder of the day, sunshine and 89 with a light breeze out of the west at 6 miles per hour. Tonight, clear skies with lows around 74. Tomorrow, sunny with a light breeze and a temperature near 89. Moving into Sunday, about the same with a high of 88 and sunny. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-0453.
Are you looking for a place to take a leak? Do you have a truck, tractor, or other hydraulic equipment leaking or not performing as it should? At Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, we can get you back to work. Do you have a busted or leaking hose? We can typically replace them while you wait. Hydraulic cylinder or pump needing repair? In many cases, we can have it back to you the next day. Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, 6840 Highway 77 in Southport, just south of Tractor Supply. The best place in town to take a leak.
Live from the 19th hole.
I can't believe you're a professional golfer. I think you should be working at the snack bar.
It's the Inside Drive from the Bill Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studio.
The price is wrong.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget Auburn Tigers football coming up this Saturday on your home for the Auburn Tigers here in the Florida Panhandle. That is ESPN Northwest Florida. Coverage starts at 1 p.m., followed by kickoff at 2:30. The SEC opener for both Arkansas and Auburn will be right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We didn't have him last week. He was out of town traveling. I'm going to ask him a little bit about that. That's our good friend down there from Instant Replay Sports Cards. Aaron, how are you doing on this beautiful Friday?
Oh, fantastic. How about you guys?
We're doing good. We're doing good. We actually have Jay is on the road. He's heading up to Georgia to take the golf team on a little team building away road trip to play some golf and have some fun. So he's actually going to be calling in the next segment to do our picks. But we didn't have you on the line last week. We actually didn't do a show last week, so you didn't last Friday. So you didn't really end up missing anything. But you went up to, I believe you said, the Northeast to go watch your uncle get some action on the PBA, Professional Bowling tour?
Yeah, we were up there all week, and beyond that, it's just a whole big sports-fueled trip. Went to Fenway for the first time.
Wow, awesome!
And got to tour around Fenway, go sit up in the Green Monster and all that. It's fantastic. Went to Portland Sea Dogs AA game.
Nice.
Playing the Mets AA affiliate, the Rumble Ponies. Final game of the season.
Love it.
So, it was a lot of fun. It's a great little stadium up there. And then, 3 nights of the PBA Elite League Finals. Basically, it's team bowling, which I had never seen before.
Ooh.
But there were 6 teams there. So, basically, roughly like 40 of the top 50 bowlers in the world were all right there, and then just at that one bowling center right there in Portland. And, I've got an uncle that works for the PBA. He was involved in all 3 nights of the broadcast on TV.
Man.
And we're right there getting to hang out and chat with the bowlers. And it's just a really cool vibe. It's a lot of fun.
No doubt. Now, up in obviously in the Boston area, a lot of history, a lot of things obviously there with Fenway Park. Were you able to check out? I know you're, obviously a huge memorabilia guy and history buff, but any cool stuff that you came across while you were up there?
Oh yeah, definitely. Right across the street from Boston, of course, you got their team store with all kinds of cool, game used things and all of that. While we're there, and it was neat to see at the Portland Stadium in Maine, just all of the former Red Sox who have come through there. And they have this sort of wall of fame of showing these guys in their minor league jerseys before they hit the big time. And so there's, Pedroia and Anthony Rizzo, who a lot of people forget came up through that organization. Yeah. Just a great history of all those guys who left that team and went on to the majors.
That's cool stuff. I've been to Boston once when I was younger, and pretty cool city, especially if you like history. And there's not a more passionate overall sports fandom than Boston sports fans. Philadelphia is close, but I think Boston's had a little more success, so maybe their passion's just a little bit stronger there. But yeah.
Yeah, and I think success across all the pro sports.
Yes.
Sure. I mean, especially recently in the last 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, they got something to hope for every year on opening day of all their sports.
Absolutely. Not too common across the entire country, that's for sure. Do want to ask you, everybody who's gotten Shohei rookie cards, been getting Shohei, all the Shohei stuff. Now that, after his virtually perfect game last night with 6 for 6, 3 home runs, 2 stolen bases, 5 extra base hits, he's now not only the 50-50 club for the first time in MLB history, he's now in the 51-51 club. Still about 9 games left in the season, so who knows what that'll actually end up being. But obviously Shohei is an anomaly, could end up being one of the best players of our modern generation in baseball. Does records like that continue to push that card value up?
Oh, sure. But, really it's just the performance in general.
Yeah, overall.
Whether it's a stat that they've assigned some kind of, arbitrary significance to or not. It's just the continued success that he's had. And, that kind of works for anybody. I've always felt kind of weird about, like, the 40-40, 50-50 kind of thing, because it's sort of just, it does show power and speed, I guess, as a combination. But it also, in a way, just feels like they took 2 stats and just said, hey, let's make a thing out of that. And it's like, well, you could count how many triples and how many, fielding assists you've had in the same year or whatever. Like, we could take almost any 2 stats and just go, hey, this guy's really good at both of those.
Yeah, definitely.
And that certainly is an indicator of a good player.
Yeah, no doubt. Home runs and stolen bases. And, not even pitching this year, and could end up winning that MVP as a DH, which, is a little bit different there with no fielding, but you just can't argue with his success at the plate and how good of a overall baseball player he is.
Well, the thing about Ohtani is, I would love to see him play the outfield. He did that in Japan. I understand why they're trying to protect him. The Angels did it. The Dodgers did it. They've got an investment there. And you got a guy that puts people in the seats. You don't want to risk that with some kind of weird injury that, you got another guy that can play outfield. But the thing is, he does what he's asked to do.
Yep.
And whether that's pitch or hit or run or whatever, he does it at such a high level. I mean, I don't know what else you can ask out of an athlete.
Yeah, it's pretty peak athleticism, that's for sure. I'm gonna pivot. We talked.
Go
ahead.
Well, say what's funny about it. For anybody who was around who remembers when Jose Canseco had the first 40-40 season in 1988, 89, 88, I think. Canseco, the guy certainly achieved a lot on the field. But certainly was aware of that. He was I think it's safe to say, sort of cocky guy.
No doubt.
He knew who he was. If you could have told Jose Canseco in 1988 that, hey, man, about 35 years from now, there's going to be a guy go 50-50, and he's a pitcher. What do you think of that?
I would imagine he would be saying there's absolutely no way that'll ever happen.
Oh, yeah.
And here it is. Here it is on the cusp of going more than 51-51. We talked a couple of weeks ago, maybe even further than that there was a 1 of 1, and it was that Olympic card with Jordan, LeBron, and I think KD. Well, there is another card, and we talked about that card because there was only one. And like you said, it's not fun because it's not out there for people to try to find. Well, on Tuesday, Topps released the first ever LeBron James and Victor Wembanyama dual autograph card. There's 6 in existence. One is a 1 of 1 superfractor, and then there's 5 red versions, 1 out of 5. Do you know do you know about this one? And it says it's going to be this card is part of the 2023-24 Mercury. It's a Victor Wembanyama release, which features 8 cards of the Spurs star per box. Some of the cards will include chromium autographs, inscriptions, and game ward memorabilia from his rookie campaign. So this seems like one where it's actually just going out into circulation, so to speak. Now, somebody may buy up a bunch of those particular boxes, but do you like to see this a little more where you kind of talked about there's a chance that, quote unquote, the common folk can end up getting this card?
Yeah, I think it'd be even better just to see it in a completely normal, traditional product.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I don't know this release. It's not anything that Topps has talked to us about, which makes me think it may be something just for sale on Topps' website. I don't know.
Gotcha.
I was out of town when they made this announcement, so I didn't see anything about it. It does sound like they're doing a Wembanyama only release. They're not the first to do it. Upper Deck has done that. Most recently, I think, with Connor Bedard.
Yeah.
They did a Bedard-only release. Panini just did a Caitlin Clark-only release. Those are a lot of fun if you like those players.
Yes.
You get a lot of different cards. The only thing I worry about is, are we moving toward an era where only the most popular players who are bankable get cards made? I hope it doesn't go down that
would
route.
not be good. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah, I mean, there's room in the market to do both. Upper Deck back in the 90s would make some Jordan-specific releases because they were very fortunate to have Jordan as an exclusive guy back when that wasn't something people did. It was just a different business. But yet they still made cards of all the other NBA players as well.
Absolutely.
So I hope there's room for both.
Yeah, because that would not be good for the industry as a whole, no doubt about that. And speaking
and all that it would take would be a couple of these big phenoms just kind of washing out, within a year or so, flaming out, and people would get where they don't trust, could buy this one set, but it's only this one player. What happens when something happens to them and suddenly they're not worth anything?
No doubt, career-ending injury, they just don't pan out. You just never know. Anything could happen out there, that's for sure. All right.
Yeah, it's always good to diversify. Have all those other players involved.
No doubt. Just like anything. And speaking of releases, obviously it's been 2 weeks since we talked to you. What? I know it's a big time, a lot of Topps action going on right now. What's coming into the store over there at Instant Replay?
Yeah, Bowman Chrome just came out. And again, it's I've just gotten back into the shop, so I'm trying to catch up myself and see what all's been released. We're starting to get some 2024 football products now. Finally. Things are a little later than they used to be 5-10 years ago, but it's happening. We're getting 2024 football. You can get all those new rookies now with their NFL jerseys and helmets on. So I know Score just came out. We've got Gold Standard. Elite comes out next week. So starting to have some options there for the football collectors. Basketball stuff still coming out. Topps really did well putting out some football and basketball for the first time in 9 years.
Whew.
And they're both really popular products.
Man, good stuff. Good to see Topps putting out some football action.
Yeah, well, with any of it, it's good to have more than one company doing it. That keeps the cost down.
Yes.
When one company gets to be the only one manufacturing the card, there's kind of that bottleneck where you don't have any other options.
Yeah.
So, and if something happens to their printing or, a storm delays or delivery, anything like that, suddenly you don't have cards out. So it's just good to see some other companies and keep the designs fresh and, keep trying to offer a better product and better customer service.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. No monopolies out there in the car world. We need Fanatics to make sure they don't get everything out there. But I know you had the Rip Night. I know you weren't in town, but Rip Night was last Saturday. But you've got the September Big Break coming up real soon, right?
We do. This coming Wednesday, September Big Break, all baseball products. If you don't know the Big Break, we take a bunch of nice hobby boxes, some really expensive things in there you might not want to have to buy on your own. We do a random team break. 30 MLB teams, there's 30 spots. You buy a spot. When we start to do the break on Wednesday night right here in the shop when we close, you get a random MLB team. We open all those products up. You get everything for your team. So a lot of fun there. You never know what's going to come out. A lot of different kinds of products. We got cards in there. We got memorabilia, signed jerseys, all kind of cool stuff. And you never know what might get added at the last minute. So it's always worth jumping in there while there's a little bit of space left.
No doubt, no doubt. And one of the things you do, and I know it's ended now, yesterday was the last day for the early bird pricing, but you do a big break every month. It varies, football, baseball, some different things. But that's the cool thing. You always do the early bird pricing. If somebody wants to get in right off the get-go, they always get a little bit of a break there.
Yeah, absolutely. Try to keep it affordable for people. And we appreciate the folks that'll jump in early and, just kind of have faith that we do add more products to it and make it worthwhile. So we try to give you way more product than what you paid for.
No doubt. And hey, it's one of those ways that you get some big hits without having to spend the big dollars that you would just to buy those hobby boxes individually. So, hey, big breaks are awesome, a lot of fun. And of course, we've talked about it here on the show too, that, it's just cool to see what cards come out of these things. Like you can go and watch y'all's breaks on, the eBay stores and you're on YouTube there. And, you don't have to be involved in it. You don't have to have paid anything into it. You can just kind of see what some of those cool cards that get pulled are, and that's how kind of I got into this whole thing. Is like, I want to get one of those. So hey, that's how it kind of sucked me in.
We do it live on our YouTube channel, Instant Replay. I think it's Instant Replay Sports Cards on YouTube, and so you can watch it there. Even if you're not participating, you can just have fun seeing what we open. If you do buy in, you can come down to the shop on Wednesday at 7 p.m. We close the store up. It's just people in the big break. We do some refreshments. We open a bunch of cards. We have a good time with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been there, done it both online and in person, and it's a good time either way. I like in person because you get to go home with your cards that day, but you're right down there off of 23rd Street, so if you want to go pick up your cards, you can as well. Speaking of the big break and all these things you've got going on, you're also a stop. Somebody's looking for they know that they're a card collector or a memorabilia collector, but don't know what to get for that person. One of the cool things that you offer down there at the store is you sell gift cards.
Certainly. Absolutely. Yeah, we have people, sometimes they're waiting on a product to come out. They'll come in each week, maybe buy a gift card and, just kind of like set money aside. And then when the box comes out, boom, they got 4 or 5 gift cards they can come use, and sort of feels like, some free cards that day.
Yeah, no doubt. Put it aside. And one of the other cool things, too, is, not just for kids, but, you guys host birthday parties as well.
Yeah, we do. Birthday parties are a lot of fun. Doesn't even have to be a birthday. Hey, it doesn't matter. Come down here, grab you some friends, rent the place out. We'll do some breaks just for your groups. Always a good time. It's really cool to see with the kids. Sometimes the kids it's nice to send them home with something other than just things that make noise or going to get thrown away,
Yep.
Sometimes those kids pull cards that are worth quite a bit of money.
Hey, that's
cool to send your kid to a birthday party and they come home like, Mom, pull this baseball card worth $200 at the birthday party.
Yeah, not a bad quote unquote in parentheses goodie bag that they get to go home with. Some cards that are actually worth something versus just getting stuff that's either going to get eaten or, like you said, thrown away. And that's one of those things. You just give you guys a call. You can get that set up for them. And of course, it's been a couple weeks. What you guys got going on tonight and tomorrow?
Oh, tonight I'm still in vacation mode. Tonight's Friday. Oh, yeah,
yep.
Kids Club.
Kids Club, baby.
Oh, yeah, I missed the last one. Yeah, Kids Club, 6 p.m. Bring those kids down. We do box breaks with them. They trade. They open packs. They have a good time. They get to hang out with kids that are into something they're into. And we help them learn about the hobby and make sure they leave with a lot more cards than they showed up with. So it's always a good time with the kids. Then tomorrow at noon, we've got box breaks here in the store, live in person. You come in, we'll open up whatever people want to open. We got sign-up sheets on the table. Do the ones you want to do. Hang out and just watch the ones you maybe aren't interested in, or you just want to come see what they look like and, kind of get an idea before you sink some money into a box or some packs. Check out what they're doing. It's a lot of fun. again, we hope everybody leaves with some good cards.
Yeah, no doubt. We've been there for a couple of those too. And like I said, you get into the ones you want, don't get into the ones you want, but you can always watch and see what happens. And hey, there's a lot of cool stuff down there. For those that may have never ever been, where are you guys located? Remind the listeners about that.
We are at 752 West 23rd Street. That is also known as the Stanford Station, which is also the place where Sweet Frog and Academy Sports, they're all right there. The Barbaritos and all, it's a great shopping center, Fins. We're right next to Sweet Frog.
Absolutely.
So I always say, 'cause everybody knows where the Sweet Frog is in town. So come down and get some cards, get you some Froyo, make a day of it.
That's it. Go home happy. Happy in full, and hopefully with some cards that get you a little more money in your pocket. Aaron, we appreciate you as always. Hopefully Jay will be back next Friday so we can hear those tunes coming in.
All right, sounds good. You guys take care. Everybody out there, be good. Have a safe weekend.
Absolutely. Speaking of Jay Henley, we'll have him on the line when we get back. Got some, I am going to talk about it because I'm just going to read straight off the WMBB website, as we do have an update to the North Bay Haven coaching story that I'm just going to read it right off WMBB.com. You're listening to The Inside Drive. When we get back, Jay Henley will be on the line with us. Y'all have a good break.
Are you ready to go under the lights? Mosley Dolphin football is back.
Wide open down the sideline.
ESPN Northwest Florida brings you live play-by-play coverage all season long. With David Hayes.
Touchdown, Mosley Dolphins.
And Kyle Wright.
You take the top off the defense, and the interception turns into points for the Mosley offense.
Exclusively on ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's football season, and that boot store reminds you to roll tide. Go Noles, War Eagles, sick 'em dogs, and go Gators. Before the cold weather hits, shop that boot store for all your winter western wear and Carhartt work clothes to keep you warm on the job. That boot store, where God is good all the time. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 till 5, and Friday and Saturday, 9 till 5:30. Next to Bill Burke at 15th Street, Panama City, that boot store.
Bestway Portable Buildings has been your portable building specialist since 1989. Before you invest your hard-earned money someplace else, owner Jason Mulder invites you to stop by Bestway and get a quote on just about any size building. And whether you buy with Bestway or not, it's worth the trip just to meet Bestway Buddy. Say hello, buddy. Good boy. Bestway Portable Buildings, just north of Hartz Marine on 231, and online at bestwayportablebuildings.com. The best in portable, period. Tell them Buddy sent ya.
Life can take us so many places. And at Panama City Toyota, we're here to make sure every drive is worth every minute.
Maybe you want a fun, fuel-efficient car for everyday driving. Or you need a dependable vehicle that really gets the job done. Sometimes it's all about answering the call of the wild. And when you're ready to shop, reserve your vehicle online and choose your options. Or we'll help you in person, even if you started the process at home.
Whatever works for you always works for us.
The locals love him.
You're gonna love this. You are my favorite. It's my favorite.
Everybody's favorite. The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is how we do it.
And welcome back. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. My heart's not quite as full because I'm not hearing those beautiful tunes from Jay Henley, but it's kind of full because we've got him on the line. I feel like I haven't talked to him in forever. Jay, you guys traveling up to the great city of Athens, Georgia?
We are Athens bound, Ryan Mulvey.
Athens bound and down. Doing good. Good to hear your voice. How's things going?
Here you go. It's doing good, man. We're out here in the middle of rural Georgia.
What was that? Rural? Is it a two-syllable word or just one? Rural? It's like rural, Matt
right.
Rural?
Rural.
There you go.
Rural.
It's like old.
But yeah, we're good, man. We're about halfway to Athens. Got a good weekend on tap for the boys, and
weather looks good for some golf.
Oh, it's going to be beautiful.
How many holes of golf y'all playing this weekend?
We're playing 36. We're going to play 18 up at the UGA Golf Course tomorrow, and then we'll be playing Noonan Country Club Sunday morning and hope to be back in Panama City about 6 o'clock Sunday evening.
There you go. Quick little trip, but lots of good golf, some team building stuff. Getting ready for the postseason, right? Still got a few weeks of regular season play, county championship, and you guys want to make that deep run. I want to see Arnold High School at Howey at the Hills, so getting a little away trip, a little practice going to go a long way. That is for sure. Well, we've certainly missed you in studio this week, but Jay, before we get to our pick'em, I got to give an update on a story about the North Bay Haven football coach. We talked about it briefly in the beginning of the show, but I didn't want to talk a lot about it because I didn't know a ton of information. But about an hour, a little over an hour ago, there was an update to the story. Originally, it was reported by WMBB and other local news stations that the North Bay Haven football coach was stepping away from the program. But in an updated story by Sam Granville on WMBP, MyPanhandle.com, the sudden mid-season departure of North Bay Haven head coach football Thomas Elliott. He claims he had no part in the decision and that he was fired. On Thursday, North Bay Haven athletic director Steve Gillespie would not say if Elliott was fired, but stated that decision was made for Elliott to step down due to unforeseen circumstances. Elliott told News 13 on Thursday morning that he was brought into the office with Gillespie and North Bay Haven principal Matt Tate and handed a letter of termination. Said he was given no verbal reason why he was being fired. The termination letter stated that his employment at Bay Haven Charter Academy had been North Bay Haven Charter Academy had been terminated effective immediately. Elliott served as the middle school PE coach. The letter further detailed that Elliott had not lived up to the expected performance within the 90-day window of his hiring. Elliott was escorted off campus and not allowed to speak with the players on North Bay Haven football team. He said he would never quit on them for any reason mid-season. I'm not going to dive into all that. I just wanted to actually report the updated news to that story. But North Bay Haven, man, they got a lot going on over there. A little parallel to the Florida Gator football program, like David was saying earlier in the show. But anyway, Jay, we got to get into some football picking, and we'll see what happens, right? So 17 is you, 20 is David, 21 is me. All right, we're going to start on the college. I got 5 college, 5 NFL. How's fantasy going, by the way? I haven't really been able to talk to you about that.
Oh, I'm 1-1 going into week 3, but I feel pretty hopeful about week 3 coming in.
Hey, that's hope. We can always have hope, no doubt about it. A lot of injuries, a lot of crazy stuff going on out there, especially on the NFL side of things, in regards to injuries week 3. And I think this kind of happens every year. We just kind of forget, and then when it happens so much, we kind of get taken aback a little bit. All right, we're going to start with a big Big Ten matchup. Southern Cal's first Big Ten official conference game, I might add, and that is going to be at the Big House, where USC is traveling to take on Michigan, and Michigan is a home underdog. USC is -4. Jay, you start the pick'ems. We're going straight up. Southern Cal or Michigan? What you got?
All right, so I'm behind in the picks. We all know that.
Only by 3. Only by 3.
Only by 3.
Just a second.
But I do have half the Arnold golf team with me, and the boys Porter, Tyler, and Ty are going to be helping me make these picks here. So we're going to start out with Porter.
Okay.
Porter, what you got?
So I think Michigan, USC the underdog. Michigan, I think, is going to pull this one off, though, in a close game.
USC is actually favored in the Big House by 4 points.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I'm thinking Michigan's going to pull this game off, not by a big number. I'd say by about, 2 scores.
Whew, that is big numbers, my friend. The over/under total is only 44 in this one. So, but I like it though. I like the takes.
I'm thinking 10 points. I'm thinking Michigan's going to win by 10.
Okay, I like it. All right, Jay, you're locked in for Michigan. David Hayes.
Yes, sir. I'll take it.
I like the way this is going.
Yes, that's. I love the take there. I love the confidence, and we'll see, as Alex Orji is going to be the starter for Michigan here. But I've been thoroughly impressed, and I hate to say that, but thoroughly impressed with USC's defense to this point. Give me USC.
Yeah. No, I mean, and it's just such a different Michigan team than last year. They lost it kind of reminds me a little bit, not as much of a dumpster fire, not even a dumpster fire as Florida State is, but Michigan lost the majority of their offense, lost a lot of players. They can still run the football a little bit. Their defense is good. Texas came into the big house and kind of just got ahead of them and never looked back. USC, it's almost like you're waiting for them to come back to reality. This is a big game for USC on the road. First ever Big Ten game in their history of their program now that they're in the Big Ten Conference. I've got USC winning a close matchup, low-scoring game up there in Ann Arbor. All right, David, the next game on the docket, I think it's probably going to be a sweep. I don't know. We'll see what his next picker has. But we've got Tennessee traveling out to Oklahoma, opening up their SEC slate. Oklahoma's first ever game in the SEC, I believe, was, what did I say, a 6.5-point underdog at home against the Tennessee Volunteers. Currently number 6 in the country, haven't allowed many points, scored a lot, but has their competition really been that great thus far? David, you start first.
Tennessee's not a very good team on the road, or at least they haven't been underneath the tutelage of Josh Heupel. With that being said, I'm going to, especially with the way that you kind of set that up there, that you think it's going to be a sweep, I'm going to either fall back a game or gain a game here, and rather than later, we'll do it sooner here with Oklahoma.
Sooner. That's a pun, Jay. They're the Oklahoma Sooners.
I got it.
How do you know I was going to take Tennessee?
Well, I didn't think that we were going to be sweeping with Oklahoma.
That's true. Well, Jay's the only 10 I see, and I'm going to take the Tennessee Volunteers. Maybe not covering the spread, but Heupel gets over that hump of the road woes, and they're the real deal this year. Defensively, offensively, Nico Iamaleava is going to lead the Volunteers into a victory over the Oklahoma Sooners and kind of disappoint Oklahoma on their first ever SEC game. Jay, who do you got picking for you, and who do they have?
Ryan, this could not have worked out any better. I've got Ty Greenlee, originally from Oklahoma, but he lives in Panama City now.
I like
he
it.
moved here when he was 2 years old. He's a big Boomer Sooner guy. What's he going with?
I'm going with Oklahoma. I feel like they're going to show out. They're hungry. They're in the new league. They want to go for it. I'm going Oklahoma.
I like the energy. That's good stuff. Hey, 2 Oklahomas and a Tennessee. A little surprised. I thought everybody was going to go Tennessee, but when you got a Sooner in the vehicle with you, you got to go with the home team, or you got to go with your home team, right? All right, next one, I'm going to throw you guys for a little bit of a loop. I always add my Coastal Carolina Chanticleers on the docket. Now, this isn't the toss-up game or the free game that Jay didn't always take the free pick on. It is actually Virginia, a Power 4 team, traveling down to Conway, South Carolina to take on the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers, who are trying to stay undefeated under the new quarterbacking of Ethan Vasco. I believe last time I checked, I don't have it up in front of me, but Coastal is a 3.5-point underdog at home against Virginia. I got to take my Chanticleers. Got to go with the Chants on this one. So that leaves an opportunity for you guys to take Virginia and potentially get one up on me. Or do you go with the Chants? Jay?
Porter, what's your pick here, Porter?
What was the teams again?
Yeah, Virginia at Coastal Carolina. I am a Coastal Carolina alum, so Coastal's always on our pick sheet.
I'm thinking Virginia's going to pull this one off. I don't know that Coastal Carolina has it in them to pull this one off, but I'm thinking Virginia is going to go and beat them.
All right, there you go. That's your pick, right, Jay?
Yep, let's go Virginia.
Taking the Cavs on the surf turf in Conway, South Carolina.
Yeah, it's a home game for Coastal Carolina, as you alluded to there, Ryan. Virginia's not a very good football team, but they are 2-1. And with that being said, I haven't seen a whole lot from Coastal Carolina that's like, man, they've got a big chance here. But with Virginia being a bad football team, maybe so, I'm still going to roll with the Cavaliers.
Yeah, no, sounds good. Virginia, and a Coastal Carolina. All right, Jay, we got to go a little bit quicker. Next one, we got 2 more college here. We're going to start. We got Arkansas at Auburn. We'll be heading up late tonight to get up there to Jordan-Hare Stadium tomorrow to see the SEC opener. Arkansas at Auburn. Auburn has to win this football game or it's going to get a little ugly for Freeze. What do you got, Jay?
I will go. I got to go with Auburn here. I mean, at home, Jordan-Hare, Freeze. It's on the line for Freeze. I think Auburn pulls out a big one at Jordan-Hare tomorrow night.
There you go. David Hayes?
I'm going to go with the Razorbacks here for the sole reason that Auburn fans got real excited after the Alabama A&M game, and then boom.
We got excited again after last week, so are we going to fall on our face again? Hopefully
Deja vu loss number 2. Woo pig sue wee.
That was good. All right, here's a terrible game to pick, but I threw it in there. We got Cal at FSU. Can FSU get a victory? Cal looked pretty good against Auburn. Are they going to look good against FSU and the mighty Flat Seminoles? All right, David Hayes, you pick this one first.
Let's just keep it rolling with road teams for the most part, right? I'm going to take Cal because I'm sick and tired of trying to be positive for Florida State. It's not been working well, so I'll go Cal.
Last week, y'all both picked Memphis. I was trying to will FSU to a win. I picked FSU. Didn't get the win. I am not picking the opposition of FSU this week. I'm going to take the Cal Golden Bears, and Mike Norvell's seat is going to officially be lit on fire after this Saturday. Jay, what you got?
All right, Ty, here you go. I'm going to go Cal. Florida State, they've not been doing good at all this year. It was their year to prove themselves, too. I'm just going to go Cal.
Yep.
I don't want to lose this week.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, who would have thought before we started this pick'em that on week 4 when we were picking Cal FSU, all 3 of us would pick Cal? Wild times. All right, let's go quick. I'll start this one. Chargers at Steelers. I'm going with the Chargers. Jay, who do you got? We got about 2 minutes.
I'm going to go with the Chargers.
All right. David?
I'll take the Steelers here. Chargers really haven't been battle-tested yet. Give me that defense of the steel curtain.
There you go. All right, next, Jay, you lead us off. Texans, your Texans. Well, not your Texans. You're a Dolphins fan now. I don't even know who you like anymore. Texans at the Sam Darnold-led Minnesota Vikings, trying to go 3-0 on the young season. Who do you got?
Oh, let's go Texans, C.J. Stroud all the way.
Yeah, that's the one quarterback you know. Good stuff, Jay. David.
Give me the Minnesota Vikings here at the house.
Oh, I am all on the Sam Darnold train. Brian Flores has got that defense dialed up. They're going to get the pressure on C.J. Stroud. They win a close one. The Darnold train keeps on rolling. Going to go with the Vikings as well. Eagles at Saints. Are the Saints the real deal? I think this is probably their biggest test coming up. I thought the Cowboys would have been, but they dismantled the Cowboys. David, who do you got? Eagles or Saints?
I'm just going to roll with the hot hand here, and I'll take the New Orleans Saints.
We're not so much parity. We got one pick different. I'm going to go with the Saints as well. I think they are the real deal, and I think they continue it with another victory over an NFC East team. Jay, who do you got? Eagles or Saints?
Yeah, I'm going to go Saints. I think they've been a powerhouse. 91 points in the first 2 weeks is pretty crazy. I'm going to say Saints by a good number.
All right, another sweep there, all 3 Saints. Next, we got Ravens and the Cowboys. I believe it is to me, I think. I think the Ravens need this one more than the Cowboys, like we talked about earlier. I got the Ravens winning that one. Jay, who do you got?
I'm going to go Ravens. They've been doing pretty good, so I think we should just end it out that Ravens.
Yeah, they're 0-2, trying to go 1-2.
Sweep that thing.
All right. There you go. All right, last but not least, Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs, Sunday Night Football up there at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. You guys will kind of be around there, but you'll be heading back. You already hopefully be back by then. Chiefs at Falcons. Jay, start us off.
No dirty bird this weekend. The Chiefs will roll over the Falcons by 3 touchdowns.
Oh, 3 touchdowns? David Hayes, what say you?
I think the Falcons get
This is a required monthly test of the emergency alert system. Had this been an actual emergency or dangerous situation, official messages and directions would have followed the alert tones. This test is brought to you by the Florida Division of Emergency Management, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and your local broadcast